Hello and welcome to Goal Fulfillment. I'm meeting again for the second time with Genny Real. We're meeting three times this year at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. In our first interview, Jenny she stated her goals for 2021. Now we're meeting at the middle of the year to assess her progress, what's working, what's not working. And it's good to have a game plan. And that's really what goals are, is having a game plan. And then every now and then to check in with ourselves or somebody else and assess how things are going and then make adjustments and finish strong at the end of the year. And it's good to learn lessons as we go through our goals and discover things about ourselves and what we need to work on and what may be holding us back from us and all of us reaching our potential. So there were goals that you had. The first is, I believe, the impetus or the start or what is driving Jenny all comes from and starts from her own personal need. She really wants to make a difference to autistic people, and she's married to somebody that's autistic. But to really narrow it down, there are challenges that wives of people who are the wives that are married to people that are autistic, they have different challenges. And this is not really an area where wives of that are married to autistic people where they can go for support, see what they can do to make a difference. And so from that, Jenny's goals were being driven through postgraduate work learning about autism and specifically towards her purpose. So she is studying this and was getting a degree in this and then beyond that opening up a practice where she used to have a bakery and now in that same building having a practice where she will be working with wives that are married to autistic people and having that support system and learning, teaching them what she learned, first to help her own husband and then to help the wives of those who are married to autistic people. It was a very noble goal. And also, she wanted to go for walks in the woods. I mean, it's really good to have, you know, goals that drive us and really inspire us and give us a purpose and meaning in our lives. But beyond that, we do need to sometimes check out and recharge ourselves. That's the best way to say it. Like one of your goals was have meditation, meet with a friend once a week and walk in the woods. And with that, I'd like to go through a series of questions and assess how you're doing and where you are in your progress. What's going well with your goals?
Well, there is a lot going well, but uh, there's one thing that you say in the introduction that you say, yeah, just to help my husband. And I think then I say, oh my God, I don't think that I did all this to start with the autism master. Maybe I did it in the beginning to say, okay, I will help my husband, but I think it's always about yourself. And when you say that, when I hear that, I say, oh, okay, that's interesting, because I have to checking. It's not helping my husband; it's helping myself. It's helping my situation, and I think that's the most important thing. So later on, more on that. How it's life going? I think life is fluent. It's interesting and it's very good to set some goals. But the thing that I have learned is sometimes, and it's also because I do this master of autism, that I learned sometimes we set goals and sometimes we got more resistant from it than because we want to reach some outcomes. It's very good to set some goals, really, and that's what one of the things that I have learned. And many times I see myself like I'm going through my goals. Yeah, doing like the walks in the woods and taking time with friends. Meditating is something that I definitely do every day. It's not something like it's like something like breath your seeds. It's something like I cannot do anymore without my day or starting my days. So, but there are other things that I think like what I want to say is that we put some goals, but sometimes it's not benefiting us. So life is always evolving, and we through these goals and through these settings, I think I like to say I found like my flow in it. What is good for me and what doesn't serve me. Yeah.
No, that's true. And like for even me personally, sometimes to be able to have like a philosophy of what you want and really a vision of what you want, but being able to adapt and not be so much where everything's written down. I'm going to do it exactly this way, and this is the way, and then other opportunities come up, or you're not even listening to other opportunities, and be able to, you know, adjust and
What
some
you're talking about is be able to be flexible. That's
exactly.
the right word, and that's what one of the things that I have learned on this. I think the master of autism have give me a lot to to be more clear about my life, to be more clear in being flexible. You know, sometimes like you say, you just fix something, and sometimes it doesn't work for you like that way, not for everyone. And because you think, no, I have to follow, I have to be rigid, and I have to go through that, you are damaged yourself more. You are uh, stopping yourself to have more possibilities in life, because you are not being flexible sometimes, because you cannot, and because maybe you are afraid, is anxious, maybe you think you're doing it bad, and you just want to follow one line. Sometimes it's very good to follow one line, like in many fields, that but you feel it also intuitively what is good for you. When something is giving you stress, something is giving you like, oh, you know, I like a border on you. Yeah, you have to be ready to study, is this a border, or is this something, it's this really resistance what I'm feeling here. And not always is resistance, not always.
Yeah, and there's a balance because we to accomplish anything and truly create something great, it takes discipline. So, it's a balance between the two, but you know, maybe another question is, do I feel like I'm being me or somebody that I'm not? Maybe that's another question
For
that
me, yeah, are you asking this now? Yeah, for me, that's something that I don't know if it's because of the corona crisis that we have, that it pushes us inside, really rhetoric and symbolic inside ourselves, that
Mhm.
a lot of things start to change. And then, yeah, I ask myself different times this question, and I'm being me, but like I'm very careful about myself, because many people, yeah, what is being yourself, you know, what is your essence? So it goes very deep. But I think the important thing here is that you are coherent with your values and your norms inside you, and you always feel it. If you are not coherent, and it's not you. And I think that's the important thing. Yeah.
Exactly. What are some of the successes you've had during the first half of the year?
um, the successes that I had, I think, especially with my family life, um, because I come from, I almost had a divorce. Yeah, because there were some things very not in balance. But I think the basic rust and trust is back in the family, and that's such a success for me. I experienced this as a success. Yeah, because when you are living in stress, it's difficult to catch information, to be present. But when you come in a state of relax, yeah, and basic trust and rest, it's yeah, that's, you can be happy, you can be, yeah. That's, I think that's one of the major success. I could say, yeah, I organized my house. I did. I could say there's also a big success, because that's also important. But I think the most success is how you can reach something that gives you peace inside and clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like your life is more in balance. I think that is a good way.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there's balance and yeah, and then there's the inner peace that comes with balance. I think it's both.
Yeah, and I think the it reflects sometimes, because I hear it from people. It's like I'm more at ease, more relaxed, more chilling. Yeah, and I feel it also inside. Yeah. Mhm.
What areas can you use some improvement?
Where can I use more improvement?
What areas can you have more improvement, or what areas do you think you need to improve?
Hmm. Yeah, there are different areas, and it's about people. I think in judgment sometimes with people. I think I becoming more aware, like um, it's so easy to have a judgment of someone behavior. So I'm more aware in that. And if you see, for me, for the practical way, I think the commitment to myself every time. Um, it's like saying to myself, today at 1 o'clock I will be doing that. Sometimes I say, okay, I will do that, but I will do it half hour later. And this is the thing that I will like to improve more, to be more commitment to what I say in the time for myself. Yeah.
That happens because something takes you longer than you thought, or because you get distracted.
Well, I think, and there's something, it's very deep. I think I discover, because sometimes I have wondered this for many years, why I'm doing that. And I went to a course to learn how to be commitment, how to be more, but then I discover that I think it's about how I was raised, how mm, what I learned from what when I was a small child. And I think it's also have to be to deal with something about with trauma. I think that. And so when we grow up and we carry all this stuff, behind us, like we are not worthy, we are not enough, why should I, sometimes we want to do something, but we are not very commitment to ourselves, because there is always a voice there. Yeah, it's worth, where does this voice come from? And I think, and I'm working on it now. I went, I do have now once a 2 weeks, a coaching session with one lady. She's very professional. And I say to her, I want to be guided in this, and we go, and we are going to work on it. And I don't think, that's why I'm very careful sometimes when you say I'm going to make a time schedule, and I do, sometimes it give you stress, because where does this stress come? I think for me, I experience sometimes it's not every time because you are lazy to do something, but it comes from a very back history. I hope you understand what I try to
No,
say.
no, and it's good to talk to somebody about it and get different perspectives and
Yeah,
somebody on your side that's rooting for you.
because I see it. It reflects in my children in a way like, how come that I can be very disciplined and very commitment with my children? Yeah, and my daughter is now 18 years old, and I see she's very disciplined. I don't have to say to her, she just finished her high school, and she was one of the best. And I don't need to say to her, she plays piano, she plays guitar, she plays uh,
Drum?
drums, and she's very commitment with what she does. She can, and I say sometimes, well, because I was always teaching her, so how come sometimes I fell for myself, because I can do that. But it's also this voice, and where does this voice come from? So that's something I want to work on, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because a lot of people deal with this kind of stuff, a lot, and we are sometimes so ashamed to talk about our past, that uh, we didn't learn to love it, to love ourselves, to be serious about our own stuff. So that's why some issues in our life start to appear. But we think it's that the person think that it's bad, it's there. But I think you can see it like an iceberg. An iceberg is a very good example to see. You just see the top, and you think that's just the iceberg. But the iceberg is, it's very deep, you know and it started very low, so I think something like that, if you don't go and down and dive and went to the issue, it will always keep on being an issue in your life.
Yeah, because there's so much you don't see in the awareness. And the other thing is, the more we can love ourselves, the more love we're able to give to others.
The
And
more respect, the more,
we'll have more fulfilling relationships with other people.
I think that's one of the things that I say, that's why the corona have had a positive impact in my life, because I'm really engaging a lot of people that I didn't know was toxic in my life.
Mm, yeah.
Just wanted to please, because oh no, you learn to be the kind little girl that is always polite, but sometimes it's not about being polite, it's being like knowing what you say, being you. What are your norms, your values, and who do you want to be with? Because sometimes we don't are aware that some people who doesn't want to work, who doesn't want to do the inner work, they are just bringing toxic in our life. And this is a process, and I think life is about process. And maybe the older you get, I don't believe like the older you get, no, but I think the more aware you go into your inner world, you could be 25 years old, but you can also be 60 years old. The more you become, like you say, more you, and who is there? Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know what? That's the other thing. I noticed that the more I am, the more I'll smile, the more I'll laugh, the more relaxed I am. And then when we go in the other directions, the less we laugh, the less we smile. And yeah. And people will see it too. When you start going more towards you, people say, you seem happier, blah, blah, blah. People will notice.
Because you don't depend anymore about the knowledge of other people, or uh, to be always saying, yeah, you're doing very good. No, you don't. You know you are doing good because you feel good, because
Mhm.
you know that if I go this way, it will be good for me. So I think that's the difference. But sometimes we learn in this life that we have to go and do things and do that and be there, and so that we can get the acknowledge. But I think that's not a knowledge that we can build on, because it falls. Yeah, because if you don't have this job, or you don't have this special car, then you will not have this knowledge. But when you give more time to your inner work, and your issues inside, then you don't spend more time on expecting the value of the acknowledge of other person, because you are and like I am. And if you are, then yeah, what else?
Yeah. Know thyself and be true to thyself. Exactly. What do you need to do differently, do you think?
What do I need or want?
What do you need to what do you need to do differently?
Well, to do different is one big lesson I learned, because I, and this also comes from, that's why I discovered there's something there behind me that, blocked my way to be visible, to be who I really am. And I I could finish my study end June, yeah, last week. Um, but I decided to finish it on the first week of September with the second group. And then I asked myself, while I was in the first presentation, yeah, in the end program of the study, I say to myself, why didn't I finish that? And then I recognized, like, I didn't finish because I was afraid, because I was afraid. And then the resistance to finish came in the form of, maybe I will not be good enough. Maybe I need some more time. Maybe, maybe. And then I felt so awful. And that was for the first time that I felt so awful that I didn't finish something like in this time that I could do. And I asked myself why. But it wasn't because I didn't have read enough, or I didn't have do my assignment how I could. I did. But it was because the anxious behind, the insecurity behind. So that's what made me think. And I say to myself, this will never happen anymore in my life, because I'm able and I'm capable to do it on the right time, on the right place, because I can. And that was the big lesson. And if you say to me, what could you do different? Just be commitment on myself. And that is the thing that I'm now working. If you hear it, I'm working it. And that's why I engage the professional coach to say, I need to work on this, because I cannot do it alone. Sometimes we think, oh, we can do it alone. You see my books, I have learned a lot, I have read a lot, I know a lot, yeah. But you can sometimes not do things on your own. You need some person who know how to guide you and who see your blind spot, because it's about blind spot that you don't see. That's why you keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
And then once you know the blind spots, then I think some of that knowledge you have behind you, you can completely execute on it and put them together.
Yes.
And then
Mhm.
they're like a team.
Yeah. And I think that's the one of the thing that I learned from this, and it's like you are not perfect, you are not perfect, and that's one of also of the issues that I used to deal before in my life. I wanted to be perfect. I didn't know I wanted to be perfect because it was not good enough.
Mhm.
You don't need to be perfect because every time when we build something like an iron, you build something, then there's not all every another thing maybe that you have to work on, you know. So that's what thing that I learned, and it's not about being perfect, but it's life, it's evolution, it's evolving, it's finding out who you really are, what your strong sides, what are your debilities, yeah, because that makes you, yeah,
True. Yeah, awareness is a big part. And yeah, it's so much harder when we're not aware.
yeah.
And then we have these goals, and then sometimes we can wonder, why am I not getting past a certain point?
I
And you make
think
progress.
something like I think it's something like workout. You know, when you want a very good body, yeah, and you want to work out. Some people can manage by themselves because they have the knowledge and they have the discipline and they have the. But some people they cannot manage by themselves. They need a coach outside because maybe they do the exercise wrong. They can do it, but maybe not in the good position. This is also something like the inner work. Sometimes we need one person who can show us, like, okay, you are doing it good, but you step over this step before, come back and do this. Yeah, yeah,
And then they can add to our belief that we can do it, and yeah. And
yeah.
then you take the steps and go, oh, you're right. That I was able to do that. What do you believe you need to do more of?
More. Hmm. I think I gave you the answer now. I think being aware, and maybe one of the things that I learned is that ask for help. Yeah, asking for help, for assistance. Yeah, where I'm not very strong. Yeah, I think that's a little hard part of me. Yeah, maybe I'm now aware it. So if you say what do you need me more, yeah. And also I think one of the things that's very good to be more like last weekend I went to a Latin festival for after the corona, for all the time that I didn't went out, and I realized how much well, I went to the booth to talk to my friend, but just 1 hour or something like that, yeah. But it's how much to disengage of your current life. And I think especially when you have a relationship and you are a mother, you always want to be there as a woman, as a partner. And I realized how healthy it was to just disengage and be in another world with music and other things, sleeping, nobody, not no one expecting me to do something. And I realized like, oh my God, I need to do more of that for myself. So taking care of myself really in a way that just really disengage. Yeah.
What do you think you should do less of?
I think less is less being aware of self-criticism. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's a very, very the big enemy. Yeah,
So improving your self-talk.
yeah, being criticism about myself. Sometimes when I do don't things don't go how I expected, maybe how, but I'm more and more aware of it. And it's funny because I thought last year that I was really being that so good on it, but then I find myself like, judging myself, and that's not healthy. It's something like an old belief that if you are not aware of it, you are just doing it during the day. And I think that's one of the things that yeah.
Yeah, that's a big area to of something to stop doing. Uh, Is there something that so you're gonna start toning down the self-criticism? Is there anything else that you think you should start doing?
um, well, I already started to do it, and I think that's like, but it's in Dutch. It's like this. How do you say? Um,
Um, like a
like
document?
mantras. Yeah,
Oh,
like
mantra.
positive
Yeah, things that
intentions.
you say. Yeah, a mantra like there's different things that I came up with when I started my journey. There's
Yeah.
gotta be a way.
Yeah, yeah, like something like that. I have like
You
25 mantras here, and I take one, I put it all together, and then I say one a day. Yeah. um, and then I am like repeating this every time when I at least 5 times a day, but normally I'm repeating sometimes, how do you say, frequently. Yeah.
yes.
And today the mantra is because it's about the number of the day. And today the mantra is uh, I'm I am valued uh, to make myself visible.
Oh, that you have value,
Yeah.
and therefore don't feel bad about being visible. And
Yes.
being visible is putting yourself out there. Yeah.
Yes. Put yourself, because there's something that I think in this mastering, my coach told me, um, okay, we can keep on study and reading, but there is one day you have to be, because she says, well, are you starting in September with your coaching practice? And then I say, yeah, I think so, we will see. And then she said, no, 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 we will not see, because we can keep on study, we can keep on reading, we can keep on, but it's one day you have to start. And then I say, I feel this inside. I say, why am I saying, yeah, because I'm going to start in September, but you see, it's always this kind of self-talk
Mm.
that, like, we will see. Why we will see? It's spontaneous, something that I say, because it's always there's something like, oh, maybe not. You have to be, and your self-talk is so, you when you speak with word, it's so, there you can discover a lot of um, obstructions belief. Yeah.
Wow. Something triggered, just you saying we'll see, triggered a memory in my head. And it was just like, wow. And this is actually amazing because I changed my father's language and I was only 5 years old. So I'd ask my father, and I was about 5 years old. I'd say, "Could I this or that?" And he would say, "We'll see." And a kid wants an answer, and they're like, "We'll see." And then I go, "You keep on saying we'll see." I go, "We'll see means no." And I said, "Don't feel bad about saying no. When I
Mhm.
ask you if I can do this or that or play this or do this, just tell me yes or no." I said, "No more we'll see." So maybe
That's
he didn't really want to answer. And then I said, yeah. And that was funny because yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see myself as assertive, but then once in a while another side would come out and then he stopped saying it. And it was yes or no, and then I was cool with that. And it's better for the kid to know, and we'll see. And I was like, no, we'll see. No, tell me yes or no. I'll be good either way. Just tell me.
Yeah, but
I was
that's
only
it.
5 years old. I was a child.
That's great because you were very children are very clever and very aware,
Yeah.
sometimes you listen to them. But when I say to this coach, we'll see, I hear myself and I say, because I'm going to start September. So but because when you say I'm going, yes, it's setting up, I'm going to start it, then it's for real.
Hmm.
But and then if you say no, then it's also like, no, why not? You feel like, what are you going to do then? Because you have a mastery now. What are you going to do? Study or So what you say, engage yourself. But the crazy thing is that what you say, will see, it's also engaging yourself, because it's putting you in a place like hanging, yeah, adopting, uh, escaping of to be commitment. So that's one of the things that I am working on it, really. Yeah.
What did you do? One of the things is every day just doing a little something towards your goals, and it just adds up. And sometimes, like I was making a program which is pretty much done now, like a video program that I was going to sell. And, I was just putting out a couple of videos every other 2 days. And then all of a sudden, I'm just kind of like just doing that. Oh, I do my two. And all of a sudden one day I go, wow, it's done. So that's the thing, that sometimes we're focused on our goals, and that's just that little consistency, and it just builds, it gets powerful over time. So what did you do today towards your goals?
Today I did my meditation, my mantra, and then I am finishing my presentation for September. And I'm making cards, presentation cards. It's something about 52 cards. So I say to myself, every day I'm finishing one card. Yeah. So
That,
that's
that's exactly what I was saying. Just that little tiny, and but then it's a consistency of every day.
yeah.
And I forgot one thing. Another thing you did towards your goals was us talking about your goals and assessing how you're doing. So that we'll add this to it.
I don't understand.
Oh, our meeting right now is towards your goals. We're assessing how you're doing, what's
Ah,
working.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
this, so count this one too. I think
Okay. Yeah.
it's not what did you do today. It's literally what you're doing right now towards your goals. I like
Yeah.
that. That's even better. So I'll give you,
Okay.
I'll give you that one too.
Thank you.
You get 30 more points for that. No,
Okay.
I'm not keeping score. Have you learned anything that affects how you will pursue your goals in the future?
Yes, that's the thing that I told you. Like, I never. Yeah, that's good to say. I'm never going to put myself in the position that I am hurting myself. So to how do you say, to prevent that, I need to do what I have to do. Yeah, because it's the first time, and I'm glad, because I talk to someone and I say to this coach, like I say, I need help on this assessment, and then I say I felt terrible. I never felt terrible to through something like that. And then she said, because it's time to clean up this obstruction belief, and you are ready. And then I say, yeah, and it will not be difficult to do it now, because I will never put me in this position. Because when you are aware that you are the one who suffer, Yeah, nobody. It's
Hmm.
not my coach or my husband, or life goes on for everyone, but it's yourself. It's your feeling. It's this feeling of maybe like, oh, I didn't do it, or it's an awful feeling. I cannot even describe it. It's a feeling like, it's maybe you can say failing, but it's not failing because you can do it. So it's an awful feeling. It's not taking yourself serious. So I say I will never do that. So what I learn, yeah, never put myself in this position again. And I can do it because I am there to be present in what I need to do. And now I know what I need to do.
Exactly.
Not listening to the voice. It's not just, how do you say, it's not just like you say doing every day. No, it's just not listening, because you can make something that you can see it, but if you are not aware of your obstructed belief, then you just are sabotaging yourself. Yeah.
Sabotaging.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is we have to realize all of us have negative thoughts.
Hmm.
We can't beat ourselves up over it. But then whenever I have that, then I'll say, what should I be doing now? And then take action on something. And then that voice is shut off.
Yeah, because you don't allow yourself to sabotage yourself anymore, because you say, okay, what do I need to do it now, or what do I need to, maybe sometimes you cannot, like I say, you cannot do it alone, or maybe sometimes, yeah, it depends. It depends from person to person. You cannot say you can do this, or you can, it depends from situation also. Yeah.
Yeah, the area. Exactly. Because everyone might need help in some areas, and some areas they can struggle through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does totally percent.
And many times I want to accent that, many times in online courses, or you get a very bad feeling on it, because they say you're not commitment, you're not. But sometimes I feel sorry for some people who really want, because I used to be one of that. I really want to do that, but there is something more behind. And if you are going through this, um, sometimes curses, then sometimes you are damaging yourself more than progressing.
Mm.
I think there are a few. Sometimes online courses are very good for a lot of people, but for a kind of group that are still, it has to be with trauma, I think. And I used to be one of that. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's not always healthy, because it puts you always in the position like failure. It statement yourself in more in that position, you know. And it's not because the online courses are bad. No, it's because at that moment you are not ready, but you want to be ready, but you have to a lot of things to clear up before. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, like putting your own house in order first.
Yeah. Hmm.
Is there anything else you need to learn or you would like to learn?
I would like to learn a lot. I would like to learn to trust myself more, to trust my inner guidance more. Yeah, to be more quiet, to do that. Yeah.
So listen and trust your inner voice.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be very powerful. Yeah, definitely. And then we'll be more free and more, yeah, and then when we trust the inner voice and we feel more free, I think we become more creative too.
More creative, more assured of who you are, and then you can, yeah, yeah, more stable. I think. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
What are your next steps for the towards your goals for the rest of this year? What would you be your steps for this year?
Well, at the end of this month, I start with my online, with my visibility. So I will making a website, yeah, and getting ready to 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 start to be visible on September. That's one of the things that that I I'm one of the goals. And now we have holidays here in Europe, school holidays. So there are different activities. We are going to holidays to the nature for 10 days, and then we are going to sport camps.
Oh,
Um, so I will do that in the meantime. Yeah. Mhm.
so you want to have the website up by September
Yes.
when you start
And
the project.
the first
Oh,
week of September, I will also will be giving my first presentation, my last presentation of my study, and I'm closing it. Yeah, so I will be finished. Yeah. Mhm.
what areas do you need help with? And I think you mentioned it earlier.
Yes.
Is there any other areas you need help with? Or is it mainly what you discussed earlier?
Yes, I just gave it. Yeah, I
Okay.
just yeah, and I'm doing it now. Yeah. Mhm.
And then how you can get that help? Well, you've already found an avenue to get that help. You've already done that.
Mhm.
And what are your towards your goals? The last question are what are potential obstacles and solutions to the potential obstacles? What potential obstacles could stand in the way of your goals? And what could you do besides what you said earlier to get past those obstacles? Do you have any other methods? Could it be obstacles finding clients to work with? And also you also had a goal that you mentioned that you wanted to open up an office, share an office space with somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Um, have you pursued that? Is there any is that a potential obstacle trying to find the people or find clients? Are those potential obstacles?
Well, we have like an advertise that we are renting the building. Um, that's the thing that we have. Um, and I think the major thing is to start my practice, but I have a place also in my house that I can receive people in my office. So that's not it. That's not something that it will give. I think the major thing is um, making myself visible. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Yeah.
Are you starting a YouTube channel?
Um, I am not. Last time I said to you, I didn't. I don't know if I will do that. I'm still figuring out if I will do that. What I will do, I think, is a Instagram page. Yeah, because I think that's a social platform that give you a lot of opportunities to make message clear. Yeah, and YouTube, I 10 days ago I talked to one friend, and then I say I would like to do YouTube, but maybe not with myself on it, but like talking behind and with some image.
Oh, some images that relate to what you do, I believe,
Yeah.
in, in that aspect. Oh,
I
okay.
think I think that will be more, but I don't know because sometimes I say, yeah, maybe it's I'm not figuring out. For YouTube, I don't really am sure of it, but for Instagram, to have one page with that make visibility. Yeah. Hmm.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. I wish you success and progress on your goals on the last for the last half of the year. I will meet with you at the end of the year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your progress and wow, this has been a very different year, and we've all had to adjust, make adjustments, and I think we've learned a lot. And the lockdown has created us to get in touch with ourselves again and start to get new insights and hopefully some insights that will really carry us into our lives. And crises, we never are looking forward to crises or anything like that, but sometimes people will look back and go, wow, that happened, and here's how I reacted to that crisis. And in the end, this is who I became.
Yeah.
And the person I became, wow. And sometimes you put a pat on your shoulder and say, I like that person, and then be happy about it.
I'm glad that you say that because that's why I feel with my relationship. And that's why one of the goals that if you say the main goal of this all is my relationship and to be an inspiration for other couples because um, there's a lot of work to do in that field. Yeah, there are a
Exactly.
lot of women who are desperate, maybe finding, searching for one ear to give their frustration, to talk about it and to find a solution and to be clear in their situation. So I think that's the major goal. But that's why I'm not. I know when I once I start, it will not be difficult to get some clients because I think there is a big need on that field. But the thing, but you say the something that keep me behind. I think it's the anxiety to make me myself visible. Yeah, and that's one of the goals that I'm working on this year. Yeah, um, yeah, and to recognize maybe it will never go away. Maybe I'm like this artist that every time we go with a big concert and go on the stage, they always feel this anxiety. I hear that from many people. I don't know. Maybe
I,
I'm expecting that it goes away, but it never be. I don't know. Yeah,
people are so into the performance, they don't even notice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There was like Richard Branson. He started and he was an entrepreneur with so many things, but there was a time where one of his he was they were he had a record label and Virgin Records, and there was one of the people that was giving him a lot of his business was
Mhm.
afraid of going on stage and performing. So Richard Branson said, "What kind of car do you like?" And he bought that car for him. And then he went and he did it. He was happy he did it afterwards. But so he bought him a car to encourage him. I remember that when I read that autobiography. Wow, that was really powerful. Well,
And I hear from many people who perform that it's always they have there are people there one comedian that I say what it's afraid of the stage, but and she also does microdosing and I don't know what because she's working on that and she says every time I feel very anxious of the stage, but she's that's her work. And I was, oh, okay, maybe being visible, like the thing I just have to take it for granted. I say, okay, I always will be feel anxious about that, but the main thing is that you can do the work that you love. And I think there is a lot of passion behind that, what I'm doing now. Um, and there's a lot of love behind. And I think that's the major thing. With that, you can go through all this
ex-
battlefield. Yeah. Mhm.
Well, thank you, and we'll meet again at the end of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing your progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you.